Good morning. It is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we're about to take a look at the balance between feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in our outside world. So we're going to be able to see interactions with the people around us in our environment. If we want changes there, we have to figure out how to shift inside of ourselves to see those changes. And that is what we take stock of every day. Where are we? Where do we want to be? And how can we adjust to get there? We're going to start this morning with Divine Feminine because she has the most cards showing. If you just caught this shuffle, I just did a live shuffle over on Instagram. Grace Strega popped in. She was with me yesterday at noon. If you missed that reading, that's over on Instagram too, and it was really fun. So go check that out. But she told me that she pulled the King of Wands in reverse today for the energy, which is kind of a gloomy card for me to start my day with because it isn't a card of no action and no energy, no communication. That's not what I want to see as the divine feminine. So I'm not surprised to see the divine feminine headspace looking like this when I pull all the cards out because there is definitely a feeling of like reverse King of Swords or King of Wands rather. So let's get started for divine feminine. Top of the deck, overall forefront of her mind, the Five of Wands in reverse. There has been a very long struggle. And most struggles, while they may seem to have outward appearances of external manifestation, are always within the self. And then the matching components of our physical reality just show up for us. So divine feminine, I feel, has a really powerful understanding of this concept, or she's in the process of gaining this powerful understanding. But because she has learned this, she has been able to unblock. So she's not stuck in a battle with self anymore. When we read here, we're reading divine masculine energy and feminine energy, but we are considering that as truly energy and not gender, and having an understanding that everyone has a balance inside of themselves. But that if you are grappling with your own masculine energy, meaning if you have this desire um, to create something and you don't believe in your own worthiness to be able to have that thing or to create that thing, then that means that the masculine energy, which is the energy that takes action, um, it it isn't communicating or taking action towards that feminine desire, which is to create that thing. So if we were looking at this in terms of, I only have my personal experience, so I reflect back upon my personal experience when I'm teaching, but I'm making a record, and I've been doing that for 15 years, and I wish I was fucking kidding, and I'm not. Um, there's songs on there that I wrote in 2012, and there are songs before those songs that will never see the light of day that I tried to put on records. So my divine feminine energy has been always to create this piece of art, to create this fully conceived thing. And for whatever reason, and I've had many, many obstacles. I've had my car broken into and my laptop stolen, which was the only way I could make music, and I didn't have a way to replace it for 2 years. I've had like just really obviously things that you could point to and say like, well, this happened to you and that happened to you and this happened to you, and so that's why you didn't make your record. But in the end, it's that divine masculine energy inside of myself didn't take the action because of a fear of inadequacy, whether it was financial, there's not enough money to make this, or conceptual, I it's not going to be profound enough, it's not going to have enough impact. Protection wise, I have to protect this from competitors. There's all, so any of those any of those ways that we use to talk about masculine energy. That is the thing that's out of whack. And if that's out of whack in us, then you come here for a love reading, you're going to be like, wow, this is just like this person that I am interested in. And I'm going to be like, yeah, because that person is reflecting back you. So Divine Feminine's getting this lesson, and this grappling that she was doing inside of herself has ended. She's stopped fighting with herself. She's like, this bitch wants something, I'm going to give it to her. Okay? She's like, with herself. And because of this, and because we study energy and we understand, oh, when we have an energetic shift inside of us, we see it on the outside of us. It means that unless the specific iteration of the divine masculine is prepared to come forward and stop fighting, then that specific iteration cannot communicate. Like there's been an energetic boundary shift here. Divine Feminine has unblocked this energy. And so if Divine Masculine can match her, there can be this union. Regardless, Divine Feminine is balancing inside of self. The niggling feeling in the back of her mind is the Knight of Swords, which is this feeling that, or this thinking about this masculine energy again, with really brutal honesty, cutting through to the quick, and like really this is about being really honest with the self, like, and that's the other thing about the all of this that's coming up with this Five of Wands here. This honesty with the self is what she's not fighting against. So her not fighting against this clarity about how she has kept herself back or held herself back, the things that have blocked her, she has this understanding that that divine masculine energy, by the law of attraction, if it's a law, as far as I know, gravity still works, so the law of attraction must still work too. Then she's going to be seeing this divine masculine energy that's chivalrous, honorable, direct, truthful, has a strategy, has a plan, because she's having that same kind of energy inside of herself and treating herself with that same kind of chivalry. The first thing on her mind, which is such a lovely thing to follow the Five of Wands in reverse, is the Six of Wands upright. And this is victory. And it's her victory. This is from the Ethereal Visions deck. And there are other individuals here sharing this victory, but they're very minimized in the image. And we're really just looking more at this individual who has struggled through this battle and is now bringing this peace. And this is also a card about the spoils of war, too, about the things that we are able to now claim as our own, not just claiming that victory, but claiming the right to be here. I have a feeling that Divine Feminine is finally feeling like she feels like she has earned, like she's got her own flag and she's just stuck it in, and she's like, this is where I am standing, this is my place, I have my own thing, my own kingdom. It's like conquering her own kingdom. The next thing on her mind is this Ace of Wands energy in reverse. So she's not getting what she wants, though. It's interesting. She's unblocking. She's not fighting against herself. She's being very honest with herself, which is a moment of victory for her to be able to stop fighting and just be honest about the situation. When she's honest about the situation, she's like, I can't get what I want. I can't get what I want. This Ace of Wands also is about trying to suppress excitement, trying to suppress energy, because she doesn't want to feel disappointment. It's like she feels a victory. She senses this potential now that she is being truthful and honest with herself, now that she's stopped fighting and stopped engaging, then she's thinking like, I should see this, but she's trying not to hold out. She's trying to suppress this excitement and her desire because she's afraid she really can't get what she wants. Next thing on her mind is this devil energy in reverse. So her victory really is about realizing that she can't get what it is that she wants because what she wanted wasn't serving her. It was like this obsessive loop thinking. Um, there were codependency issues. There's addiction issues, addiction to like the interactions with this individual or this trying to achieve this thing, this goal that she has. It became more about the desire to satisfy ego than about the spiritual journey that she was on. And so she's trying to really release the hold that that devil energy has had over her. Just let her ego go and release her fears about her ability to have what she wants, because she's understanding that this fear of not being able to have this thing that she wants is what causes her to go into this Eight of Swords protective, self-sabotaging mode where you do things that prevent you from having your victory, from experiencing the spoils of war, because you feel you're not worthy of them, or they don't exactly fit what your ego planned or intended. It's different than what you thought. Maybe there's a knight in the picture who divine feminine thought. Maybe there's this thing where she thought she was going to get a specific iteration, but there's another knight in the back of her mind, an energy that is chivalrous and in his integrity. And it's possible that divine feminine is realizing that she's not fighting against this other energy, and the victory is over letting go of this old past energy that was really toxic, and not protect herself from this other energy that could be potentially a much better match or a much better fit if this is a career or something we're trying to manifest at home or something. It's like her ego was attached to this one location or this one career or this one person, and she's unblocked that and allowed herself to see that there's something else better, and she doesn't want to protect herself from it. So she's halting this motion that we saw, this Eight of Wands energy. We saw this yesterday. She's this is Ace of Wands withholding and Eight of Wands withholding messages. So she's suppressing her desire for what she is fearing is potentially a toxic pattern. And instead of trying to appease her ego, she's now saying like, I'm not going to be sending messages. I'm basically not going to be communicating or trying to take action towards this past energy that was just trying to appease my ego anymore, because I can see how that attachment was just protecting myself from my true victory. Because this old attachment from this devil energy, this is all I was getting from this. This is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. No reciprocity. It was a one-sided relationship, and this lack of reciprocity had to do with worthiness issues that divine feminine had been grappling with. Okay, so that's her headspace. Let's take a look at her heart space. We have the King of Wands in reverse. Oh my God. I didn't even fucking notice that, which was Grace Drega's card for today. I gotta get my ego out of here. Divine feminine is hurt because divine masculine won't take action and he won't communicate. And she is feeling that she has just stepped into a place of victory, right, in her life, where she can claim her own thing. And she is realizing that she must claim her own. She must stake her own claim. She must take action and communicate and express for herself. And the niggling feeling we've already seen today is the devil in reverse. So divine feminine working so hard to release this attachment to this King of Wands that just it's like it doesn't match her worthiness. It's been codependent, it's been toxic, cycling kind of a thing. And this lack of reciprocity from this king, refusing to communicate, refusing to take action. I was talking with a friend last night and I said, I'm tired of being the object of desire that no one will claim, because I'm in this, there's multiple incidents of this in my life where I have people that claim to love me but won't claim me, or won't say that they love me when they do, and it's frustrating. So that's the feeling divine feminine has. Why do I not see this King of Wands energy showing up? And of course, when we're looking at energy, we're looking at our own energy. So her divine masculine energy is really working through this devil energy, attachments, overthinking, fears, worries, anxieties, toxic patterns, codependencies, healing these wounds so that this divine masculine energy can actually take this action that divine feminine is wanting to take. And here's the Empress card, and it is in reverse. And we saw the Empress in reverse yesterday in Grace Drega's reading as well. And it is clarifying this victory. I can't believe the next card either. So divine feminine's victory, she's just not feeling like it's much of a victory. She's feeling like an empress in her power, but in her there's this desire to share what she has with a divine masculine emperor energy and not just be alone on her own. There's also, with that clarification of the Eight of Swords below this victory, she is desperate to protect the ground that she has gained. And so there is this very overprotective energy from the Empress, and overbearing as well. We talked about it yesterday. It's like she has gained a little bit of victory and she will not lose it for anything. So she is, being a little bit difficult to work with, for a good reason, but it is a shadow nonetheless. And in this particular Empress card, we see the full cup here. But when it's in reverse, we're at risk of depleting our cup because we're being too over nurturing, overbearing, or overprotective. We're in the distorted feminine here in this energy. So part of the victory is learning about how this distorted feminine functions and trying to integrate that shadow. And part of this discomfort of the distorted feminine is that she's frustrated that this is a victory she is sharing by herself. Why is she not sharing her victory with this King of Wands who will not take action. And so here we are, defeated. This is the Five of Swords. It's clarifying this Ace of Wands. And like I said, before I even knew that this was the clarifier, she's just decided to give up on her desire. She's not really going to fight against this energy or fight to save what she desired, because she realized that this past iteration has kept her hidden. Here's the star energy. That her attachment to that past energy, to that desire she had, it kept her small. And she kept herself small, which kept her from being able to have this act, to take this action herself and express at this level herself. And so the energy that was reflected back to her matched this. And she's not going to fight against that old toxic energy anymore. And this Eight of Swords, it's being clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. This slow and steady moving energy, it's like she was allowing this energy. She was trying to protect herself from this knight here, this knight, the chivalrous knight and the stable knight. The other knight that we are associating with this past iteration energy, it's always the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Cups, who of course expresses mostly in reverse because he won't express for this masculine energy. So Divine Feminine is understanding that she's kept herself small, which has kept her from seeing stable and reliable and consistent and chivalrous and fast moving, swift moving energy. But there's been a change here in how she's thinking. So this slow moving energy, it's like it's a thing of the past. The next step, the next thing that's going to happen is this Knight of Swords energy. And if this iteration that she has wanted isn't there, it's not a match. And here's Strength. So we have two Devil cards in reverse and the Strength card. And Divine Feminine is absolutely trying to stay strong, trying to control her pride and ego. She is enduring not receiving communications. And so she is trying to stay strong and not communicate herself, because she's realizing that she doesn't want that. That's not what she desires. She doesn't want to be hidden. She doesn't want to be secret. And so she can't engage with this slow moving knight this way. And it's taking a lot of strength, but she has a lot of strength. The strength that she felt she was lacking to take this action, it's fully embodied here in this Divine Feminine energy. And so she's trying to draw that strength and be able to take action. But it is hard for her not to send messages. Here's the Six of Pentacles in reverse and the Hierophant in reverse. So this is, I mean, it's so clear. This devil energy and this staying small, this toxic codependent relationships of her past. This could be a past marriage where she didn't receive what she deserved, where she didn't get what she put into it, this kind of situation. It's like Divine Feminine's learned that all of her past relationships kind of look like this. All of these specific iterations of Divine Masculine energy that have associated with her in the past, this is what they look like. She's consistently getting these duds, right? They seem to be great, and then they don't do a thing. They don't do anything. If they do take a step towards her, it's one-sided. It's not reciprocated. It's just on their terms, and her hopes and dreams are minimized. They're less important. and it's been pretty toxic. So divine feminine is feeling, she's thinking and feeling a lot about this. It's I know that looks pretty dark. That whole thing looks pretty dark, but I keep coming back to the fact that she is unblocked, and that the thing that she's unblocking is this honesty. So yeah, maybe it does look dark. Maybe it does look hard. Maybe it is hard to take a look and say, you know what? I can no longer desire this thing because what I desire is something incredibly toxic for me. And, unless this specific iteration, divine masculine energy changes overnight and suddenly becomes a person who doesn't match this pattern I have from my past, which is honestly no fault of his own. It's not like he's a shitty person, this specific iteration. It's just he's a match to a past energy. And unless he can suddenly shift out of this and come into this, divine feminine doesn't really have much of a choice. So she knows that this energy is coming, but she's aware that it very well might not be who she thought, because that specific iteration looks a lot like the shitty situation she's had in the past right now at this moment. So let's go see divine masculine. This is a tough reading today. All right, top of the deck. Overall headspace, forefront of divine masculine's wands. Mind. His wand or his mind. Depends on the blood flow at the moment. His mind is the Two of Wands in reverse. Now, we're using the Housewives Tarot. The Two of Wands, of course, is a card about having asked for something and having to wait for it to arrive and not seeing it. So not being certain how that journey is going to end. Having to trust, being kind of uncomfortable, because it's a little bit easier to be more patient in the Three of Wands because you can see your ships coming in. The Two of Wands can also be about crossroads and having to make a decision about which way to go. And it's known for the Twin Flame Collective as one of the Twin Flame cards because it has two wands in it. So divine masculine right now, I think he's looking at an extremely exhausted divine feminine energy. You can see she doesn't look very happy. She's been dealing with all these messes and really struggling. And he's just, it's like, I think he's thinking he's made a mess of things for this divine feminine. And he feels like it's time to stop doing this. And he wants to leave behind this feeling of uncertainty. He really is chafing at this feeling. And I think he feels this way himself too. I mean, they're mirroring each other. So I think he just feels exhausted by this journey. And he feels exactly like divine feminine, except it's underlying everything in his mind. He can't get what he wants. And that is really what is exhausting him. Because what he wants is to have this divine feminine, right? He wants to accomplish this twin flame journey, but he can't have what he wants. Just like divine feminine's realizing, yep, I can't have what I want because divine masculine iteration can't have what he wants. Fucking annoying. For me! The first thing on divine masculine's mind is the Four of Swords, but it's so interesting because divine masculine isn't thinking about his own silence. He's thinking about divine feminine's. Why is she being quiet? Why isn't she saying anything to me? Why isn't she talking to me? Why didn't she message me back? Why didn't she send me a message without me messaging her first? Why does it seem like she's not going to take my shit? He feels uncomfortable. He's grieving this silence too. And He's feeling like he hates this journey because he can't get what he wants because he has to remain silent. And he knows that this must change. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. And when I was shuffling his heart space, the Wheel of Fortune showed up twice, like falling out of the deck. I don't know if it ended up in the cards that I finally pulled, but I kept seeing it. Oh my God, I made the best smoothie ever. It's, I put like coconut cream in it and cacao and coffee and cashew butter and cashews and kale. You can't taste the kale at all. And it just tastes like a Mounds bar, like a rich Mounds bar mocha. I don't know. It's so good. I can't even. It's so good. All right. Anyway, so we have the Wheel of Fortune. Divine Feminine really needs a divine feminine. Divine masculine really needs a big change. Well, divine feminine needs a big change from this silence. And divine masculine knows this. And he also feels there's this destiny and fate at play, that he kind of is waiting for this turning of this wheel. But he knows that this silence has to change, obviously. They're not going to go anywhere if he can't fucking speak to her. So he knows that he has to change. And then what are we seeing? Look, we see this fucking super divine, exhausted divine feminine that's like, Jesus Christ. And then we're seeing this freaking Eight of Cups energy where she's like, Jesus Christ. And if this doesn't describe exactly how I feel, I just can't find another image that would. It's just like, I have been here for it. As my friend Vanessa said last night, I have been out here in these streets, okay? Divine masculine knows it. This is his headspace, honey. He's thinking about it. He knows the shit that is going down. This is why he's like, fuck this twin flame journey. This is some bullshit, as one of the people in our chat yesterday during the live reading said. One of my faves. She said this twin flame journey is some bullshit. Divine masculine couldn't agree more. He feels just as limited by this destiny and fate as divine feminine feels at the mercy of his communications. And divine masculine himself wants to walk away. He wants to make a change and stop being silent. And the next card up is this Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups is about celebrating and reunions and happiness and good times. But when it's in reverse and we're looking at wanting to walk away from it, we're looking at most likely some third party energy, which doesn't mean a romantic partner. It can mean a parent, a child. It can mean a job, circumstances, rigid belief systems. It does not have to be a person. And in fact, that was part of the reading yesterday for Divine Feminine too. So go watch that reading if you immediately are jumping to third party means karmic partner means he's cheating. Also, he's not cheating. You're not together. But regardless, this is what the silence is about. The silence is about a few things. It's about the third party energy that gives divine masculine a hard time. It's about not being able to reunite with the divine feminine because he's not saying anything. It is about not saying anything because he doesn't want third party energy to know about what he wants to do with the divine feminine. It's also about him needing to just lighten up. Like he feels like he needs to lighten up and just speak and not be so serious all the time. And then right after that, we've got Judgment. And Judgment is clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. So he's feeling that the reconciliation for them is somewhat fated, is dependent upon these outside factors, which could involve legal judgments. I also see there is judgment towards himself because of how difficult it has been for him to change. And the final card is the world in reverse, which is been coming up. It came up in the, I mean, all these cards were in the reading yesterday. So the energy is really kind of staying the same way. But the Eight of Cups is being clarified by this world card in reverse. And this is like, in this world card, this recipe box is like everything that, would be composed in of your household. Like it's like auto, money, garden, home, family. So it's your whole world and it's in reverse. And if divine feminine walks away from him, he will lose his world. Like that's his world. So he's worried about that. He's also feeling like it's not over. If she walks away, it's still not over for him. That he needs to walk away from his unwillingness to complete the cycle. His head is exhausting me. And I don't even just mean from my ego. I mean, I feel like he is so exhausted right now. Like this image of him, like of this feeling. And divine feminine feels it too. So it's not just him, but it's really pronounced. And in a way, this might be the best thing that's happening right now is like taking a minute to, and wearing a mask, not talking, not communicating, but just kind of praying, which was in the songs for today, was praying really hard for something. All right, the top of the deck, overall heart space. Oh my God. Is the world in reverse. And for divine masculine, his world is the divine feminine. And he feels just so out of sorts. Like everything just feels so chaotic right now. Like he can't get it to just settle down. He wants to walk away from the chaos. He just wants to have this peace. He just wants what he wants, right? The niggling feeling is good. It's the Nine of Cups, which is a card of wish fulfillment. And when we get the Nine of Cups, no matter whether it's upright or in reverse, it does mean we're going to get our wish. And in this, it looks like his wish is this divine feminine, and she looks a lot more relaxed, right? Girl, she's like maybe on some kind of vacation. She just got out of the hot tub, she got out of the jacuzzi. She is feeling so much better than she was before, doing all this cleaning up of these messes. I mean, this is what divine masculine wishes for his divine feminine to feel. To share everything in his cups with her, not to hoard them, but to be able to just pour out everything to this divine feminine. This Four of Swords is being clarified by this Eight of Pentacles. So the silence is definitely, it has something to do with his work or what he's making or what he's crafting. And it might be that he has chosen to focus on the material and remained silent because it's like he feels like he can't do both. He's got to be able to like have this career and work on this thing. And when he's doing that, he prioritizes that and he can't prioritize divine feminine. And he's wanting to release this tendency. I also feel like there's this resistance to doing the work that is involved in healing the wounds that are causing this silence, this refusal to speak. And the Wheel of Fortune is being clarified by the Five of Cups upright. So we are seeing a divine masculine energy that is trying to remain optimistic about his fate and his future. But he has a tendency towards sadness, a tendency towards depression, and towards being, the cups are empty type of a deal, and it has been difficult for him to be able to maintain this optimism, but he is trying. This fucking Eight of Cups being clarified by this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And so I see here it's multi-layered. Number one, he doesn't want to lose the specific Queen of Wands or of Pentacles. He doesn't want to lose the specific Divine Feminine. The other thing I see is he has to walk away from an past Divine Feminine energy that has had probably some kind of a financial hold over him. But there is victory here. Just like Divine Feminine, the first thing on her mind, we're seeing that Divine Feminine's victory is here in Divine Masculine's heart space. And it's over this third party energy. So we are seeing that there has been a complete release or walking away from some kind of a third party energy. If it was a karmic partner or a maternal figure or just whatever, there's some third party energy that he has achieved victory of. Could also be workplace or career, because the Eight of Pentacles was in reverse, but something that was keeping him from being able to move forward, he is doing that work of walking away from it, and he's now protecting these spoils of war from this murder of crows, right? And this Judgment card, he is in the Seven of Wands. So there's a progression there from that Six of Wands to the Seven of Wands. And we're seeing him stand his ground and fight off these opposing forces, which if there is some kind of a legal battle or some kind of a decision, he has either stood his ground and received a positive judgment in its favor, or he's going to stand his ground in the situation and get his absolution from Divine Feminine. He is not going to let any of the arrows she's throwing his way stop him from this reconciliation with her. He's not afraid to fight for her to have his desire. I have a sigh of relief here, because this World card in reverse is being clarified by the Emperor. So this victory and standing ground, and this is making him empowered. This is creating this Emperor energy, which is a match to the Empress energy over here in Divine Feminine's heart space. We do see them in union here. So ultimately then, looking at Divine Masculine spread, what we're seeing, good morning, Lena, what we're seeing is that he is achieving the worth energy that he needs to be able to complete this cycle with the Divine Feminine, to be able to bring both of these worlds together and make her this solid offer so that he can finally be in union with this physical manifestation. Ultimately, that's a good fucking place to end up. Okay, I'm so exhausted by this. All right, let's take a look at Divine Feminine oracles. Divine Feminine, you are in the light attributes of Midas right now, which is entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold and delight in sharing life's riches. And I can tell you right now, this is 100% true for me, because I got my funding for my entire record yesterday. And I actually had that funding in place for 2 years and didn't take advantage of it. And I finally did. And so now I can not even have to worry or think anything about the financial aspect of the next few months in terms of the recording that I need to do in the studio. Because I did all the production that I can do in my own studio, but I don't have a vocal booth in here. In fact, I have ice cream trucks and sirens and other noises that would not make a vocal booth work very well. And I also don't have a drum set anywhere. So I need to record drums live. And usually in my band, when I play with people, we record even the vocals live. I don't always overdub. So we might just do, for some of the songs, just do live performances and just record the whole thing like we did the first time we went into the studio because it's fun. Um, so I have this feeling too that I have this light attribute right now that somehow everything that I'm touching is turning to gold and divine feminine. You're really in this energy and you want to stay there and continue to release those shadow attributes of hoarding money and emotions and an obsessive fear of losing what you have. You're really in the light right now. You're just delighting in it. You're also in the light attributes of the nature child. And this is so good because to see the Empress in reverse can indicate some of the distorted feminine, which can include a tendency to abuse loved ones. But you're in the light. So it's telling me that that Empress energy in reverse is not about being overbearing or abusive. It is more about having that overprotective energy, over nurturing, if anything. But you are in the light right now, friendships with animals and communication with nature spirits. And so this is also calling you to continue to cultivate those relationships to ground in nature. Your guardian angel is here to help you have faith, which when your Hierophant card is in reverse, it's about really having trouble having faith, needing faith. So your guardian angel is here to help you in regards to this, in particular in regards to this card about family. So it's the spirit is really wanting to give you confidence, to have faith that you will be able to have this family that you desire, that you will have this whole family in place. Your 10 of pentacles, your 10 of cups, your whole spiritual fulfillment. Just hold your vision. And that is emphasized. If your King of Wands is in reverse, you're having trouble holding a vision. You've given up on that vision. You're walking away from a specific iteration. Be careful that when you walk away from a specific iteration, you don't also walk away from your vision. Your specific iteration just doesn't match your vision right now, but the vision is your desire, and you can't walk away from that. So you have to hold this vision of a King of Wands who can speak and communicate and express. And you have to give yourself this kind of energy inside of yourself. Hold your vision and have faith because nothing is yet set in stone. So if you have let go of a specific iteration because you realize it's toxic and you can't communicate with that iteration anymore, hold your vision. Nothing is yet set in stone. Things can change and shift. That's why you come here every day, right? Because you know that things can change and shift. Can you even hear me? Is this because I don't see my mic? Is my microphone working? I wish there was like a settings. Okay, you can hear me. Cool. For some reason, it's not showing up on my, like usually it shows like green when it's responsive. All right, the Great Gathering. It's all coming together, intuitive hits and soul tribe. So just keep that faith that things are all coming together. Trust your intuition. This is a collective, right? And all of these things are coming together at this time. Then you're getting Bobcat Spirit. Life is a mystery. This is the 8th card in Colette Baron Reed's Spirit Animal Oracle deck. And you are getting the protection message. And it says, Bobcat Spirit tells you this is not a time to reveal your deepest, most cherished dreams and desires to others. Huh, interesting. So it's not a time to reveal your deepest, most cherished dreams and desires to others, but rather a time to be quiet and gentle with yourself as truths begin to emerge in your awareness. Self-protection is called for. Isn't it interesting to take cards that seem disappointing and look at them as cards that are necessary for your journey? Self protection is called for, so be discerning, selective, and even secretive, revealing no more than is necessary. People have a way of imposing their opinions on you, so pay attention to whom you surround yourself with at this time. Be watchful and check your own motives as well as those of others as you keep your secrets to yourself for now, rather than expose them to those who may potentially misunderstand your intentions or may not be supportive. Let your logical mind take a rest as you start to perceive the energy of your environment. Bobcat Spirit wants you to be stealthy and wise and keep your own counsel. Let yourself be a mystery yet to be revealed. That is very interesting. So, Divine Feminine, when you get a card like that, it would suggest to me that there's probably going to be some information that you're getting soon, or you have some information currently that is indicating the imminence of victory or the experience of victory for you. But this Empress card being in reverse and this message of protection is you need to protect this victory. So your instinct to be overprotective right now is actually a good one. It is not a negative one. And that is so important to keep in mind because often when we see this Eight of Swords, we take this as sabotage and we think that we have to stop doing this. But sometimes what we're doing as that we call sabotage is protecting us in a divine timing sort of way. And I laughed today when I pulled Grace Drega's card. If you join me, if you catch me live on Instagram when I'm doing the shuffle and you stick with me there for the shuffle, I'll pull a card for you at the end if you want. And so I pulled a card for her and she got the Tower. And then I was like, oh no, I'm going to pull another card for her. And I pulled the Two of Cups. And I realized that it was like divine intervention. So the Tower is often about that, like the divine taking over and taking care of things and just kind of needing to allow that to happen right now. Divine Masculine, you are in the light attributes of the femme fatale, which is highlighting the erotic energy of the feminine and opening your heart when your dependency is rejected. So you are releasing the shadow attributes, which is inappropriate use of sensuality and attachment to money and power, which is refreshing because you've had a lot of cards and energies in your readings about this attachment to money and to power and to ego. And so you are really releasing that attachment. You're in the light attributes right now of the healer, which is a passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, and the ability to help transform pain into healing. And you are no longer failing to take care of oneself or taking advantage of those who need help. So you've really moved into the light attributes of this healing energy and of the divine feminine. Your guardian angel is here to support you in stress management, which I have to say, with this Four of Swords card, it looks like you need, this is just like a spa day thing to me. Like, but you do need the stress management. With the World card in reverse, there is a lot of chaos. There could be a lot of things going on right now that are distracting you, causing you difficulties. Divine Masculine, you need compassion. You have to have compassion here. It is tough for you because the people that you are dealing with, or the world, the chaos in your world, the issues that you're dealing with, whatever third party energy that you're having to stand your ground against, it's difficult to feel compassion, but you have to remember that everyone is acting from the place of their deepest wounds. And even Divine Feminine, in her need to basically be silent, you have to have compassion for her. That compassion will help you come into alignment. You're getting the Animals card in reverse. So there is an emphasis here on loyalty and companion energy. If you have companion animals, it's a time to turn to them for sure. But I think it's also really just about trusting in the divine feminine's loyalty and not letting a tendency towards jealousy, I think, kind of take over you, having compassion for her journey and not being jealous, just knowing that in her heart she's always loyal to you. And there's also a call here for you to really come into the light of unconditional love. You're also receiving this is Taurus season, which is right now. And it's saying prosperity lies ahead, but Taurus season is right now. So the prosperity that you're always seeing is ahead. If you could just do this, if you could just do that, if this could just happen, if this could just happen this way. You know, I remember I was just thinking this the other day. I think for at least 3 full years, I thought to myself, if I could just have $2,000, I could fix whatever financial problems I was having at the time. And I remember it was always that amount of money and it was always what I needed. So I would solve a problem and then I would be like, but I just need $2,000 to like solve the rest of the problems. That's such a small amount of money now in my perspective. And I would think that all the time. Just $2,000. I just need 2,000. If somebody just gave me $2,000 right now, I would be fine. If somebody just gave me $2,000, I would be fine. How can $2,000 make me fine? There's something inside of me that can't even imagine being able to create $2,000 for myself. I need to imagine someone giving it to me. There's a mystery in there to figure out, right? $1,000. If he just had 2,000 more dollars, he could really propose. He could commit. Just 2,000. That's all he needs. Just that much more. But I did every single thing that I said I wanted to do last year after COVID hit with no money. And day after day, I kept proving to myself that I could do anything I wanted without $2,000. And now it's pretty easy for me to get $2,000. I get that pretty much every week. So, what's happening? Whatever it is you think is ahead, if you just have this, if you just have this, if you just have this prosperity, that's always it's just over there. I'm going to watch you for a long time doing that. And then this card, this is the icing on my cake today for this reading, because this card is the no card. It says wait, postpone, and say no. And this no card is in reverse, which is like, do not wait, do not postpone, do not say no. And then we're getting Porcupine Spirit, time for beginner mind, and we're getting the protection message. I am late for my very important date. I don't know. I could not get my shit together today. Protection message. And I keep getting text messages and I'm very distracted by it. Are you feeling prickly and defensive lately and assuming you will be hurt before you have seen any sign that such a reaction is called for? Perhaps an old sense of guilt and shame is causing you to be cynical and wary when you are meant to be open and curious. Self-protection is a good thing, but you may be protecting yourself from something that will not actually harm you, but instead will bring you abundance, happiness, and love. Remember your innocence and you will see what you have been overlooking. Porcupine quills are filled with air, allowing a porcupine to float in water. Now is a time to let your innocent nature keep you buoyant. Don't protect yourself from something that's going to be amazing. That's silly. That's really silly. All right. For some reason, I was only supposed to have one card for the bottom of the deck, but I pulled two. So we get two archetypes that you're both in union for, and they're shadow archetypes. So let's see where you're in shadow today. Both of you, divine feminine, divine masculine, are needing to come into the light attributes of the gossip, which is awakening consideration for the feelings of others and honoring trust. So there has been a passing on of private or secret information. And there might be people around you that you are concerned about doing this when you come together. It might be that you have secrets about each other. It might be the circumstances of your relationship have secretive elements to it. You need to awaken the consideration for the feelings of others. And so, what I really see here is divine masculine's fear about what will take place in regards to to when this union takes place. Like, this is what divine masculine is protecting himself from. He's protecting himself from this gossip energy. And divine feminine, you are having difficulty with this secrecy. And so your urge is to it's so interesting. Divine masculine is afraid of the reception of divine feminine, not because he thinks divine feminine is not amazing. That's not it. He, first of all, I think he thinks that he doesn't feel good enough to be able to have her with him. There's something about that. There's issues, there's storylines, there's plot twists here that are juicy, I think. And there's feelings and worries about this. Now, divine feminine senses divine masculine's energy in regards to wanting to keep her secret and hidden. And she has the opposing energy, which is no, I won't be secret and hidden, bitch, right? No. And he's like, you gotta keep this under wraps. And she's like, no. And he's like, yes. And she's like, no. And he's like, I'm trying to protect you. And she's like, you are not treating me right. And he's like, but I'm trying to protect you so that we can be happy together. And she's like, I'm not happy. I'm not happy because I feel terrible in this situation. And the reason why this is happening is this next archetype, which is the Messiah in reverse, which is an exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. So you both think that you know what is right. You both think that you know what is right. And one of you thinks it is right to keep the secret, and the other one of you thinks that it is right to be open. And neither one of you communicates to each other, so you can't actually make any decisions about it. You need to serve humanity with humility. You're part of humanity, right? You need to stop thinking you know best. You don't. You need to ask questions of each other to try to figure out how to consider each other's feelings. There has to be communication here. You are not serving the union in this energy. But don't worry, because the archangel Saint Raphael, the twin flame angel, and my boss is taking care of it. There is this divine intervention that's taking place. There is also a call here to maintain self care and to understand that you are still healing. This is a temperance energy card. You are still healing, and this balancing is taking place. But you need to trust in the mission that you have, in this healing work that you are here to do. And then this card is in reverse. It's like the divine is so exhausted with you, and it's just like, please be at peace. Please be at peace. Let that Holy Spirit descend upon this union. Release the exaggerated belief that you, your ego, either one of you knows what is right. We believe that we can't be wrong. That was a lyric I kept hearing this week. We believe that we can't be wrong. You might be, and the divine knows best. Work through your fears. There's the Scorpio. It's the Scorpio full moon tonight. Work through these fears. Allow this transformation to take place, this death of these old fears and anxieties and worries, and trust this card, Lemuria. Creating heaven on earth. It is happening. For some reason, I didn't pull the bottom of the animal spirit, but I can right now. So it's on the top. We're getting pig spirit. Use your mind wisely, and we're getting the protection message. So this is the work through your fears card, because it's your mind is going around and around and around, and you need to distract yourself from these things that you're worried about. And when you distract yourself, the smart choice that you need will come to you, and you'll receive the guidance that you need. So this is just the same kind of thing of working through your fears. All right, let's close this reading out with some advice from the Island Time Wellness cards for what we could possibly do today. I want to take that card, but I'm not going to because it came out with too many cards, but I would love if that card came out again. But what could we possibly do today that will help us with this energy that we're in, that we are really kind of tired of? Okay, let's see. Divine Feminine. Wow, Divine Masculine. I can't wait to get to your side. But Divine Feminine. Oh my God. I'm so tired of seeing this. God damn it. Divine Feminine today, can you please, just for today, can you not focus on the separation? Because that's what this card is, and it's in reverse. And it says, sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, and unsure of the future. Can you just stop? Your future is, you got the Midas touch. You've got prosperity. You've got, stop thinking about the separation. Just distract yourself. And the other thing that you really need to stop worrying about is the snake. Okay? This is competition, enemy, clever, malicious, look over your shoulder, and the other woman. I don't know why this is such a big issue for you, Divine Feminine, and I really wish I could take it away from you. I really wish I could just reach in there and just pull out this fear that you have, and then just like put it in a little bowl and burn it for the full moon release and be like, goodbye. I want you, Divine Feminine, today to look at yourself as the other woman. And I want you to cultivate compassion. And I want you to imagine yourself in her shoes. And I want you to do it as much as you possibly can, as authentically as you possibly can, until you feel a shift inside of you where you feel compassion and you have an understanding that that person is a gift for you, that represents a divine intervention, that prevents you from being in a relationship that is unhealthy because both of you are not healed enough to be able to have a healthy relationship. And you ask for a healthy one. And God said, okay, well, I got to do some stuff to make that happen. So this snake is not a snake. She's a reflection of you, if she even exists, which is highly unlikely for most of us that think about this. And if she does exist, she is a reflection of you. And she definitely is, because she's past energy. So she's a reflection of you at a point in your life where you are no longer, but you were there before. Do the work. Divine Masculine, you want to see what you got to do today? You better work. You got to take a chance, a risk, being strategic, obstinate, not showing your hand, and gambling. So take a chance, take a risk, be strategic. There's fucking wedding rings, bro. Union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting Promise. If you both do these things today, you have some good things to look forward to. The end of a karmic relationship for sure. Relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child and growth. Keys on a ring, many options, decision. The end of the karmic relationship. So you will transform this relationship, and this lack of exclusivity will no longer be a problem. There will not be any more other options because this is one option forever, right? Forever and ever. Are you ready for it? I hope so. I hope everybody has a really lovely day today. Take care. I'm going to go start my scheduling for the whole week now and do all that kind of stuff. And I'll be doing a full moon ritual later tonight. I am so excited. I'm going to be doing a live collaboration. In addition to the Grace Draga reading that we do on Sundays, I'm going to be introducing 2 new collaborators. I shall give you a preview of the first collaborator. Go to Instagram and follow the Bruja Sabrina. I'm going to be doing some pretty stony late night readings with her that I'm kind of excited about. We're going to do once a month, and then there's another one in the wings that's probably going to come up in a couple of weeks. I'll be revealing more about that collaboration, but a lot of really cool Instagram readers. I'm starting to really kind of enjoy those collaborative readings so much. So maybe trying to get like 2 or 3 a week going. We'll see how that goes. But if you're interested in collaborating with me, please hit me up in my DMs. If you're also interested in getting a reading, a personal reading of your own, it is a pay what you can type situation with a suggested donation. That's tunedintarot@gmail.com to schedule that with my lovely assistant, Ash. And then please like, subscribe, share, and help to grow this channel. You can click the link below for Patreon subscriptions for additional content. You can send me cards to support me. I appreciate every single thing you do to help, including just being here and watching with me, because I've lived alone for a year and it's kind of like a family now. So thank you so much for being here. I shall see you on Wednesday live. But tomorrow you can see a really fun wildcard reading I did, which is pre-recorded, but I'll probably join you for the premiere. So I'll be in the chat if you want to talk with me. Most likely it's my day off, so I will be in my pajamas. And it was fun. I did a game of solitaire and I read the whole thing. So enjoy that. That comes out tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Coast time. Otherwise, I will see you here bright and early, probably Wednesday morning here on Tuned In Tarot. Have the best day, everyone.